A kinship relationship is characterized by role expectations, which exhibit regularity, a more or less permanent behavior with an element of universality. Such behaviors, verbal and non-verbal, concerning certain categories of kin for keeping order and decorum in society are called kinship behavior or uses. Some of the kinship uses related to certain types of coactive behavior patterns are avoidance, joking relationship, technonymy, avunculate, imitate, and covert. First, let us discuss on avoidance. Avoidance is the prescribed minimization of contact between two relatives who usually belong to opposite sexes. In most societies, father-in-law and daughter-in-law avoidance, in which the two kins tend to avoid each other, is found. For instance, to be innocuous in avoidance, a Meitei daughter-in-law puts her wrapping cloth in a fee on her head when she meets her father-in-law and husband's elder brother. Likewise, though less universally and rigorously, a son-in-law's relations with his mother-in-law are found to be avoided by certain restrictions. Similarly, brother-sister avoidance prevails. One of the earliest explanations of this practice was given by E.B. Tylor, and he opined that in the early stages of human history, when son-in-law used to live with his wife in a matriarchal society, he was obliged to certain restricted relation with his mother-in-law because he was a complete stranger and in subservient position. Thus, Tylor suggests that matrilocal residence is the cause of this avoidance. After Tylor, James Fraser and Sigmund Freud gave their explanations of such kinship uses. Fraser explained brother-sister avoidance based on the evidences drawn from the Vedas, a Ceylonese tribe, and the Trobriand Islanders, that it is a precautionary measure against the sexual intimacy as would amount to incest. Should a Trobriand brother happen to see his sister being wooed by a man, or she making love to him, all the three will have to commit suicide. Among the Vedas, brother and sister may neither live under the same roof nor take food together. No kind of intimacy or familiarity can ever develop between them. Freud's psychoanalytical explanation also took great interest for interpreting avoidance. The Freudian argument regards sexual attraction and the need to prevent sexual intimacy between various kinds of relatives. However, Radcliffe Brown explained it as an arrangement to present any possibility of conflict between the kins. In addition, Mazumdar and Madan wanted to point out the attitudes towards tabooed relatives is behavior of respect rather than that of hostile and ambivalent nature. Next, let us discuss on joking relationship. It is the reverse of the avoidance relationship, and it sanctions familiarity and intimacy between certain kins. Such joking may amount to exchange of abuse and banter, obscene and vulgar references to sex, damage of each other's property, ridicule, and so on. Among the original inhabitants of Fiji Island, a son-in-law can cut joke up to the momentum of spoiling some articles for fun. Various anthropological explanations have been given to explain this queer uses of familiarity. Joking relationship may indicate equality and mutual reciprocity as well as potential sexual relationship. There may be a joking relationship between a man and his wife's younger sister, or between a woman and her husband's younger brother. In each case, the two may be potential mates in societies in which sororate and levirate are prevailing. Among the Crow Indians, there prevails the joking relationship between a man and his wife's sisters, and they are very friendly to talk freely about sex matters. A yoking relationship with one's maternal and uncle's wife may be indicative of the practice of inheriting all the properties of one's maternal and uncle, including his wife. It may be indicative of a joking relationship with a maternal uncle himself, expressed through sexual intimacy with his wife. Such uses have been reported from matrilineal societies of the Hopi and the Trobriand Islanders. Modern functional anthropologists explain these uses as a safety valve release mechanism for the tensions generated due to the imposition of restrictions. Technonymy. It is the practice of addressing a person as the parent of his name child rather than his individual name. Among some tribal groups, such as the Khasi, and in many rural societies of India, this usage is quite a common, whether as a part of orthodoxy or some convention. It is also shared by the Meitei. A married person does not address the spouse by each individual name. She or he will call him or her technonymously. For instance, Ibungo Pa, that is Ibungo's father, or Saubi Mama, that is Saubi's mother, etc. Commonly, someone is designated technonymously after having his child, but a married woman does not call her husband by name, and so she addresses him technonymously, like Moitamo, that is dear brother, Moikaka, that is dear uncle, etc. Tyler regarded these uses as a relic of some old stage in culture history, when women who were in supreme position did not accept son-in-law as one of them in their houses and recognized with him through the children he helped to bring to life. Likewise, a mother may also be referred technonymously. The next uses, that is avunculate. It is a special relationship that persists in some societies between a man and his mother's brother. If the maternal uncle enjoys a preeminent place in the life of his nephew and his special obligation towards him, which exceed those of his father, then the kinship usage is designated as avunculate from the Latin word avunculus, meaning mother's brother, and the maternal uncle's authority as avuncu potestality. If nephews and nieces are brought up in their maternal uncle's family, the condition is referred as avunculocal residence. This usage is commonly found in a matrilineal system in which prominence is given to the maternal uncle in the life of his nephews and nieces. But it may also be found among the patrilineal societies as a consequence of cultural diffusion or as a survival of a previous mode of matrilineal social structure. Next, let us discuss on the kinship uses emitat. It is the uses of special relationship to father, sister, and a man gives more importance to her than his mother. Her role is similar to that of maternal uncle under avunculate, and she is given respect by her nephew and nieces. Sometimes they are brought up in her house and she is called female father. She acts virtually as the head of the household and exercises authority over her brother's children. The usage is more prevalent among the Kongs of Polynesia, Todas of South India, and Crow Indians. The Todas give name to children not through their parents, but through the father's sister. Whereas emitat is easily explicable in patrilineal organization, each occurring among the matrilineal Trobriand Islanders, as reported by Malinowski, is a curious instance. This uses commonly in patrilineal society seems to be the outcome of an obvious emphasis on one particular group of relatives as the social mechanism for preventing certain kinship bond from falling into neglect. Covert is the kinship usage which involves husband and wife only. The queer practice has been reported among many people like the Khasi and Tota of India and the Carib of South Africa. In coverts, the husband of a wife who has given birth to a child presumes himself to be sharing his wife's agony and makes himself lead the life of an invalid along with his wife. He is not supposed to engage in hard work, but goes to seek diet and observe certain taboos. A Khasi husband, like his wife, cannot cross a stream or wash clothes until the spirits connected with childbirth are propitiated. The sharing of such kinship uses has been explained by various writers. Some authorities explain it as a survival of the transitional stage of maternal-paternal complex. In the paternal-maternal stage, where residence may be matrilocal, but inheritance is patrilineal, or conversely, some conventional methods of ascertaining paternity are needed and met the father confining in a room or performing bow and arrow ceremony of the Tota. According to Malinowski, the kinship uses of covert contributes a semantic bond of married life between the husband and wife. Some have given psychoanalytical explanation as the husband's desire to lighten the wife's discomfort by a process of participation through identification. Lately, some other explanations have been put forward. It is said that a woman who has delivered a child undergoes certain chemical processes within her body and affects the atmosphere around her, particularly if she is in an ill-ventilated cell or room. It makes other persons prone to illness. This explanation is not based on superstition but on fact. However, it is not yet fully corroborated by ethnographic evidences. Now, let us draw some conclusions of this discussion. The kinship uses are the more or less permanent rules of a particular kin to behave toward another particular kin. It creates groups and special groupings of kin and is significant for understanding system. The uses provide guidelines and also regulate the proper and acceptable role of relationship among the kins as a part of maintaining order and peace in the larger social complex. For instance, anthropologists and other social scientists explain avoidance relationship as a precaution of committing incest. On the other hand, the kinship uses of joking relationship establishes familiarity to extreme intimacy in certain kin groups, leading to potential married life for those kins.